Alright, time for another budget run. I've had Amidatelion at base EX for a long time, so not even a buck. But Amidatelion can be a little tricky to pair up with as far as a good team. So I haven't really done any runs with Amidatelion yet. Because Amidatelion applies all those frame debuffs. So I can get in the way of Kefka or Eldmarsh. You don't really want to run Amidatelion with Eldmarsh. I mean, you can, but things can get a little tight as far as debuff slots. Plus, I mean, Eldmarsh already shuts down the bosses enough. Don't really need to. So we're going to, as usual with Arciela, start with Dissension to get the speed and max brave down. Mostly to get the speed down. Now that I have Edward, I'm kind of hoping this team can batter each other back and forth with their HP pluses. So this run is going to have HP pluses for days. But first we're going to Mega Flare to apply those debuffs. Look at that. 0-3 Arciela hitting for 80,000 with her EX. But that's what Edward does. You can see there, Edward's EX himself doesn't have a lot of overflow. At least not at 0-3. But he certainly provides a lot of overflow. Plus it's better with multiple targets anyways because it does full damage to everybody. So right now we're just kind of bouncing HP pluses back and forth. The poor big bird thing has been slowed down so much. What would you call that? Like a dark phoenix? I don't know. Bird. That's what I'm going to call it. I think I originally ran a team like this with Leviathan Summon instead of Brothers. Because I thought, oh, you know, high initial brave. But it was overkill on the initial brave. And I just kept capping every time. And so I was like, no, we need max brave. So yeah, like, even if they didn't battery each other with their skills, they're still getting 20,000 in brave at the beginning of their turn from brave regen. So that's pretty nice for budget teams, because budget teams tend to be low on attack damage. Look at that. Base EX hitting for almost 80,000, and that would deal full damage to all enemies, even if there were more than one. Edward's nice to have. And for the record, I do have Amidatelyon's LD, but it's not equipped. The LD passive is not equipped in this run. Same with Edward. Because I'm trying to do a budget run here, dang it. Gotta make sure Edward's buffs don't fall off. HP plus with Edward, even though his EX was up, because the hits from the EX wouldn't give him any brave since he already had brave, although he's gonna be at max brave when he gets his turn again anyways, thanks to the regen. But yeah, I'll do that sometimes. And if the brave regen isn't so ginormously high, it can be a good idea. But in this case, it's like, well, I think why did that? I wasn't watching, maybe. For whatever reason, I didn't Mystic Waltz there. One day I'll use it. Oh, I know what it was. I wanted to make sure that Edward had his return buff instead of his hide buff up. So that way Mystic Waltz will have more overflow. Well, it doesn't have more overflow. Edward's auras provide more overflow. So Mystic Waltz hits harder. Yay for big brain moves. Well, medium brain, I don't know. See, Arciela's debuff is going to wear off soon. So I'm going to have to use Dissension again at some point. There we go, Comet. So that way the Yuki buff or whatever it's called doesn't wear off. Make sure Bard Song go ahead and refresh that. Yeah, here I'm trying to decide, like, do I use the EX or do I use Dissension? But I think I made the right decision there. Because now is when, and now's a great time to use Dissension. Just don't misclick it by accident like I did. Not here, but at a different time. Amidatelions HP Plus deals gravity percentage damage, so it's good when they have high brave like that to use it. I'm trying to not use too many skills on this wave because there's only one enemy, and their skills tend to deal splash damage except for, I guess, Edward's return. But like Yukish Ultima's full damage to multiple enemies. Comet, Amidatelyon's Comet deals splash damage, so it's not quite as effective when there's just one enemy. Arciela's EX, on the other hand, is extremely effective against one enemy. It feels like. I mean, it should be just as effective versus two, but I think it deals extra. I think it hits harder when there's just one enemy. So this is 3 waves, 100 turns. The par should be about 33 turns per wave. We're a little behind it, but I expect to make that up on this wave because now we can deal full splash damage like that. Go Mystic Waltz. See, Edward's not so useless in this game. Just Final Fantasy IV. Mega Flare to apply the debuffs. Should have an easier time getting Mystic Waltz to level 3 in this round because we used it right at the beginning. As opposed to that bird in round 1 tends to die before you can get to Mystic Waltz 3 or right afterwards, unless you're spamming Edward's skills like crazy. But ideally we want to finish this before turn 66. Keep the Bard song up. Use the EX because it hits harder than HP Plus. Let's see, I think Amidatelyon's going to get broken if we use Comet here. But that's alright. Comet has really nice overflow, especially with Edward on the team. So even if you have large amounts of Brave, it's not a waste to use it like that. Same with Mega Flare. And I will say now, I don't do a very good job of managing the skills properly. I'll end this fight with too many skills still. I'm overly passive with using the skills, but whatever. I mean, we still beat it. Spoiler alert, I didn't record a loss. Look at that damage. Base EX, not even a buck. Amidatelyon's disgusting. Like, disgustingly good. Another HP plus with high Brave. Batters everybody's Brave. I like how Edward refunds himself Brave with his HP plus in a way too. Rosa does that. But it's nice because it can save you from being broken if you're getting attacked right after you take a turn. And we have Arciela here with her fast cast to give people back their Brave. But they still have to wait one turn for it. Plus I have like no defense buffs. So the enemies don't get very many turns because they have a ton of speed down on them. But when they do get a turn, they hit hard. So we're going to take... Yeah, like Arciela is definitely getting broken here. Yeah, see, like, I have no... or very little attack down, if any. I have no defense up. Arciela's max brave down is kind of coming into effect there. So, let's see. Do I use... Yeah, that's probably the right choice. I have a funny feeling that I'm going to do something that I kind of decided to do on the fly. Especially if Mystic Waltz doesn't break here. Well, it did, but... I'm actually going to swap out Amidatelion for Amidatelion right here. And the reason for this is because the third wave is so gimped by not being able to buff themselves. That's a lot of damage. Anyways, the third wave is so gimped by not being able to buff themselves that I don't have to worry about it too much. This second wave is almost more dangerous than the third wave because the third wave relies on their buffs so much. And with my own Amidatelion, I'll still be able to provide those frame debuffs and prevent the third wave from buffing themselves. So I was like, wait a minute, that makes this wave the wave I should bring my friend Amidatelion into. This is the more dangerous wave. And so that's what I do. And my friend Amidatelion has Crystal Idol. So no more turns for the behemoths. It's so much damage. Amidatelion and Edward are so powerful. I wonder if they could duo stuff. I don't know. I don't really do a lot of duo or solo runs because I don't know. I can't figure them out for whatever reason. Spoiler alert, the behemoths don't get any more turns. So I opened with Yukish Ultima, which did give the behemoths one extra turn as opposed to Crystal Idol. And the reason for that is because, as you can see, I'm above my 66 turns par that I set for myself, and so I want to make sure I'm doing as much damage as I can. And my friend Amidatelion does a lot of damage with Yukish Ultima. And so, by using it right when I pulled Amidatelion out, I get to use it a second time on Amidatellion's last turn, so there's a reset. Now, I didn't originally intend for this, but it worked out. Due to my friend Amidatelion still being out there, the enemy starts with those debuffs, because my friend Amidatelion has more than 2 ingots. So that was, that worked out. But yeah, I had to reset because this is where, with Arciela, I accidentally pressed Ascension when I meant to press Descension. The enemy HP attacked, and then I died. But at this point, it is again time for me to start spamming some skills. Not with Arciela, of course. She doesn't have enough. But Descension to apply her debuffs. But like with Edward, I have so many turns with him, not turns, skills left, that I should have done a better job managing them. Because, like, why end with extra skills, you know? So we're getting close to the point where I should start spamming skills. No buffs for you. Okay, 1 buff, but that'll go away. And I think it's just like that last buff that they have just increases the likelihood of them landing a debuff on us. And I have no debuff protection, so it wouldn't have mattered. There's the Yukish Ultima. It's crazy to me how much damage Amidatelion does, considering all the other things Amidatelion does. You'd think they would have lowered the damage to balance that, but nope. And, you know, obviously you can't get Amidatelion stuff right now. But, would I recommend getting Amidatelion ZX from the EX shop if you have the EX tokens? I don't know. I mean, I know I'm doing a run without Amidatelyon's LD, but that LD is really nice, and you can't get that from the shop. So to use Amidatelion without the LD is really gimping Amidatelion, but Amidatelyon's still so strong. I don't know. I would say I would feel like Amidatelion was not realizing their full potential. These debuffs really suck. The max brave down. I'm like, shoot, I'm running out of turns. I gotta do damage. Luckily, Edward has a decent amount of overflow, and so does Amidatelyon's skills. But that doesn't help Edward. Edward's not going to deal nearly as much damage because Edward provides so much overflow that Edward's skills don't have much overflow natively. And he doesn't have... My artifacts for Edward are kind of bad. Well, not bad, just slightly above mediocre. I really got to work on those. I just hate farming in general. Although I will say it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. I think I summoned here to try and counter the debuffs, because I didn't want to use Mystic Waltz with that max brave down debuff. That's why I'm using everybody's C65 right now too. Well, not everybody's, but that's why I keep using them. Try and have it use a turn and get those debuffs off. But since we're in the summon and we have the increased max brave, we might as well use those skills. It's great to use skills with low overflow that deal full damage, like Mystic Waltz or Yukish Ultima, while you're in the summon. I don't get Mystic Waltz off, but I do get... It's good to use Bard Song as well in the summon, because the Brave battery is based on the max brave that Edward has, if I'm not mistaken. And the summon provides additional max brave. I mean, you know what I mean. Yeah, spamming Arciela skills now. Yeah, Edward has so many skills left. Use return. And then, nope, HP plus. I think I forgot. Oh no, Edward's being targeted, that's why I did it. Never mind. Good job, me from the past. In the past. All those skills I have left over with Amidatelion. It's like, well, I guess I'll use some Mega Flares. I typically prefer Ascension Stance to Descension Stance. Fast Cast is absolutely fantastic. And if you've paired Arciela with somebody who can provide brave damage reduction like Hope or Aphmau or Gabranth or whomever, then Fast Cast will go a long way towards allowing your characters the freedom to do pretty much whatever and not get broken. Especially in fights where getting broken could mean death. This is so close. I've got, after this I'll have 7 turns left. But they're so close to dying. I was like, can I make it? I don't think I'm going to make it. I was really doubtful I was going to make this before 100 turns, but kept on pressing anyways. I mean, what's another 6 turns? And then the launches started happening. I think I'm using hide and return. Yeah, ate up my launch. I think I was just pressing stuff and not paying attention. But I was using hide and return to try and charge Edward's EX for Mystic Waltz. And I'm going, oh look, a launch, that was nice. Pay more attention, me in the past. Yep, using Mystic Waltz with the return buff. That's what you want. And it was at this point I was like, if Amidatelion has the EX up. This is possible. And then Yukish Ultima was there. So I was like, holy cow, this is possible. It's so close. Like, can we do it with Ascension? And then I was like, a launch. Holy cow, it is possible. That launch won the fight. There it is. I don't think this would have happened without that launch. So, thank God for launches. Yeah, Amidatilion's fun to play, I would say. I just don't use Amidatelion much because it's a little hard to build a team properly with 4-frame debuffs from one person, and then they're not even that strong. They're like 20 or 30% or whatever they are. So it's like, I can't add really strong debuffs on top of that, you know? So here's my Edward artifacts. I mean, yeah, I gotta do something about that. Maybe I'll remove Edward's C65 Bloomstone or something. Amidatelion artifacts. I have amazing artifacts. Well, I've not perfect, but near perfect artifacts, I would argue. I mean, yeah, I've got Max Brave and not attack. And I know a lot of people value attack over Max Brave, but when you have battering teams like this one, Max Brave is good. And Arciela's got basically perfect artifacts. But that's all. Thanks again for watching.